Log on to HRTV.com for more information.
Anthony's cross riveting.
It was a perfect day on Two Coasts Saturday, as Joel Rosario swept both Santa Anita Stakes
It's Dynamite Holiday in front,
and Ramon Dominguez took the trio of stake races at Tampa Bay Downs.
Debut a winning one. Then Dominguez sweeps preview day.
Adding to that, the high-packed drama of the week.
Congratulations, the winning jockey, Russell Bays.
Trainers all over the country are getting Derby fever.
You've got some nerve asking me about the Derby.
It was no doubt worth a rewind or two.
The most important thing that brings me here to Southern California, and that's the 3-year-olds, Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks. You know, it's all Derby, all Oaks all the time now.
This is Scott Hazelton here to take you through the week on HRTV.
33 years since the last Triple Crown champion.
Affirm takes command by a head.
Inside the 8 pole, it's Affirmed holding his light.
Affirm's got a nose in front as it comes
Todd Pletcher was 11 years old. Bluegrass Stakes was still being run 9 days before the Derby. And the mere concept of the Breeders' Cup would not be introduced for another 4 years. Clearly, the game has changed. The mission remains the same. It has been done before, but will it ever be done again?
Charismatic is beat.
Funny Side is doing his best, but he's dropping back.
Brown is pummeling.
Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes.
Now, in 2011, the pursuit continues for racing immortality.
Uncle Mo, superb in the juvenile. Tapazar is just plain too good today.
Dialed in, and Julian LaPerouse to honor and serve is the real deal here.
Pursuit of the Crown starts right now.
Do you think it's important for a horse aiming for the Kentucky Derby? Because we see a couple good maidens come out early in the year, like around now. Do you think it's important that they at least had a start as a 2-year-old, as the old rule would say? Or is that something you can throw aside now?
You've got some nerve asking me about the Derby.
I was watching you while she was asking that.
Yeah. Bob Baffert was just standing over there. If you want to know about the Derby, call Bob.
Tapazar was the favorite in Saturday's Robert B. Lewis Stakes.
It's 6:30 at Santa Anita. I do believe I am authorized, and I'm off to find Tapazar. Smile, Scotty. Hi, Pancho. Pancho wants his close-up. Pancho, at 21 years old, apparently you come with instructions. And he's on. Tap, 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 Tapazar. Hello, handsome. It's Tapazar and Poncho are headed to the gate. Don't you wish you were here? Sorry, snowy Midwest. It's going to be 80 here today. He's going to walk straight in, his old Tappy. What a pro. Here he comes. Head bowed, looking like a champ. Look at that. Good morning, John. Who are you waiting for? Tapazar? From the gate to the paddock. That's how you do it if you want to win 500 races. How'd you go, guys? All right. You're on with a mouthful. Let's give Tapazar a mouthful.
I'm gonna eat my finger instead.
Carrot boy. Carrots.
We're spoiling your horse, Dominic.
Dun, 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 dun. Carrot Cam is on the roll. 2011. Me and Mr. T.
Anthony's Cross, Riveting Reason coming with a late run on the outside. They're all staggering home though. An eighth of a mile to go. Riveting Reason on the outside. Anthony's Cross between them. Tapazar can find no more. They come to the 16th and it's Riveting Reason and Anthony's Cross going to run to the wire together. Anthony's Cross, Riveting Reason, a nose bobber there. Anthony's Cross, Riveting Reason, a millimetre separates them.
Anthony's Cross, you decided to stay here. You felt that this group was easier to beat than the group up north. Why was that?
Well, I felt so initially until I watched the allowance race. They ran up there on Friday. And then I thought, well, I'd erred in judgment and I should have gone up there. But with the exception of Tapazar, I felt the horses were unproven. They were turf horses and I thought it was a good shot. Not necessarily to win, but certainly to run a good race. Tapazar had me pretty scared after his last start.
Now, he just won going 1 1/8. You actually with Bob Baffert when he was training Indian Charlie. What you see in Anthony's Cross, any resemblance with Indian Charlie, do you see this horse being able to get a classic distance?
I do. There aren't a lot of similarities between this horse and Indian Charlie, but there are a lot of similarities between him and the broodmare sire, who's unbridled. And I don't think he's going to have any problem getting 1 1/4.
Oriana, the history with your family, your father, the late Henry, he bought Calumet and really saved Calumet. How does it feel with you and the history coming to Santa Anita and winning this prestigious race?
Oh, it feels amazing. I'm even wearing my father's old silks as a pin here. This is what I feel and love every day. It's great to actually know it could work and come true.
Comet to the Top was a highly anticipated favorite leading into the El Camino Real Derby.
He's doing super. He's really doing well. He's training fantastic, and he shipped up here very good. And so I'm expecting him to run his race.
Well, you know, I don't think he's got to the bottom of him yet, Pete. He just keeps doing things different every time he runs. Last time in the Cash Golf 30, we rated him. He handled that just fine. This will be another, test because he's basically what happened in that race, and then now he's had a little bit of a break. He's won 5 in a row, turf, dirt, Now we're just looking for him to get back to running, and hopefully he can take us to that first Saturday in May.
Silver Medallion, you shipped up to Golden Gate to run in the El Camino Real Derby. Was there any reason, or are you just trying to keep your good 3-year-olds apart?
I think that, with his success that he had here in the Eddie Logan on the turf, the Tapeta surface at Golden Gate should be to his liking. He's a very talented horse. I think that physically he's still developing. He seems to have a lot more room to develop than, say, Tapazar or Astrology does. But he has a lot of talent, and if we could have success on the synthetic track with him, I think it would open up some opportunities down the road for some very big purses.
Does Russell Bays need instructions?
Yeah, he'll have to tell me what to do.
Comet to the top, floating Silver Medallion rather wide. Jake Sam on the inside still has something to say, and Positive Response 2 lengths off. Silver Medallion claims the lead from Jake Sam. Comet to the top has had his wings clipped. Silver Medallion's coming on to score in the El Camino Real Derby.
Today was a different assignment. You're against a big favorite, 1-2 shot. And what was the strategy going in? Because you seemed to break fine and then just laid off the leaders a little bit and tried to get relaxed going in that first turn.
Yeah, well, I watched this horse's past races, and then Steve Ashmanson called me, and we talked about the horse, and it looked like I'd be laying fairly close, well in hand, I thought, and the race turned out real good. And when I pushed the button on this little horse, he's just all game. He bared down and tried, and he was not going to get beat today.
So your confidence picked up at what point in the race?
I was pretty confident, right from the get-go, because he was wanting to go, but he was responding to me, talking him into relaxing and waiting a little bit. He's a very eager horse, but he's manageable.
What was Steve's instructions outside of what you learned off the video?
Pretty much just that, He said has gotten a little rank at times. Just be aware of it and let him, place himself forwardly. That's where he likes to be, and just let him run, let him win.
Well, this was Steve Asmussen's first time running a horse here at Golden Gate Fields, and he wins the El Camino Real Derby.
Well, let's hope he sent a whole bunch more back. And by the way, this never gets old, winning the El Camino Real.
Brethren lived up to expectations Saturday as he took the Sam F. Davis Stakes at Tampa Bay Downs.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Brethren, because this horse is running tomorrow in the Sam Davis at Tampa. 5-2 morning line favorite. Ramon Dominguez coming in. Talk about this horse who's a perfect 2 for 2 so far.
Well, he's done, we're very excited about him. He didn't do quite as much as Super Saver at 2 or any given Saturday for that matter. But, from a numbers standpoint, he's ran just as well as they did, and we think he has just as much talent.
He's by Distorted Humor. I think he's a better looking horse, really, than Super Saver. He's got a lot to him, and I watched him when I was down in Florida. I am very, very high on this horse.
And he'll probably have, maybe one more start after this, you think? Is that what it is?
Possibly Florida Derby,
Okay.
something like that. And this is a good horse who has a great pedigree and good connections, and I'm very, very high on this horse.
And he's home free. Brethren makes his 3-year-old debut a winning one, and now Ramon will ease him up in the final 100 yards. Well prepared after the layoff by Todd Pletcher. Takes the Sam Davis by 5. 2 experienced second.
I don't get it. What's this Justin Bieber have that I don't have?
Joe, I think it's the hair. It's got to be the hair, and let's face it, you're getting a bit old. You're 21, he's what, 12?
You're making me sound old now.
Well,
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grow my hair out.
Would you do that? Get a Bieber cut?
Another month or 2. I'm gonna start shaving maybe one day, and then I'm gonna grow my hair out.
And as bench points began to gather momentum, Billy Ball, Tim Yakteen, the whole family looking on and cheering on bench points, now undefeated 4 for 4. We'll be right back.
St. Trinian's returned to Santa Anita Saturday for the Santa Maria Stakes.
You've given her 8 months now,
Yes.
and coming back, first time dirt, lots of changes, coming back, going this mile and a 16th. Tell us how she's doing and what type of performance you're looking for.
Well, very seldom when you see a 3/4 and 12 with a B next to it. And that was her workout.
Yeah.
That's how easy she did it. I worked her in company, and the horse I was working with got close to her, and she just dragged Joe out of the saddle, so to speak. It was very, very impressive. Probably her best work for me. She runs good fresh, and she's really razor sharp. She's very funny. She's a little witch sometimes, and when she's really good, she'll buck. And when I first got her, they said, be careful, she'll throw the rider off. Well, about a month ago, she threw Sherry off in the shed row and almost got Joe off in a workout. And that's not because she's stupid. She just feels so good.
Right.
So I don't. When I run against Zenyatta, I thought she was at the top of her game, and I don't know if I could say she's even better today. I think she is. She's just hitting the ground really good.
Let's talk St. Trinian's. You've been aboard her for most of her works at Hollywood Park. How's she doing, Joe?
She's training unbelievable. She's such a great mare. I watched some of her replays last night, and really the only 2 races she's lost in America was the Santa Anita Handicap and the Vanity. And her race in the Vanity is one of the greatest races I've ever seen a horse run and not win. I mean, that was just tremendous. And obviously she lost to the great Zenyatta.
How excited are you about riding a horse that almost dethroned Zenyatta?
So exciting, and Mike Mitchell's been letting me work her, and I'm even more excited now because I got the feel of her a few times, and she has a turn of foot that's unbelievable, and she doesn't feel like she's moving, but she goes so quick the last 8th, and that's when you know you're on a good horse, when they do it real easy like that.
Homeward bound now, and St. Trinian's grandstand side is let loose. Zardana is going with her. Vision in Gold on the inside. 3 very talented fillies come for the wire together. Vision in Gold on the inside. Zardana, St. Trinian's outside. Vision in Gold gonna win it. Vision in Gold in a thriller. Tenacious headwind. Vision in Gold.
Ron, this filly seemed to put it all together in her last race. How impressed were you with her effort today?
Oh, I mean, it was awesome. She battled back. She's always had a lot of talent. It was just a matter of her kind of growing into her frame and mentally catching on to what she's supposed to do. And you're right, she did really put it together in her last race, and this race is going to help her a lot too.
Sam, you were screaming here in the winner's circle. A lot of excitement. This one of your favorite fillies?
Well, I loved her from the first second I saw her at the sale.
Thought I wouldn't be able to buy her, but we got her. And it's just been waiting for her to catch up to herself, and we've known this is what she could do.
You were petting her in the winner's circle and said, you've got to get used to this, you've got more to come. Do you have big plans for her?
Well, we're going to take things one race at a time, but, you know, she's big, beautiful, she looks like a princess. She's figuring it out, and, you know, we'll see what happens.
1990 Santa Maria winner Bayakoa was featured in Past the Stands on Saturday.
In 1987 in Argentina, a fleet-footed filly caught the eye of trainer Ron McAnally. Bayakoa, a 3-year-old, had just defeated older males in the Group 1 Gran Premio Palmero at the Hippodromo. McAnally, who had a knack for spotting South American talent, was eager to recommend her purchase to owners Frank Witham and his wife Janice. The Withams acted on what would be excellent advice. In 1989, Bayakoa's second year in the United States, she and Hall of Fame jockey Lafitte Pingai Jr. reeled off victories in 8 stakes, 7 Grade 1s. Those wins included the Breeders' Cup Distaff and Santa Margarita Handicap, races that she would win again the following year.
What a win from the Argentinian man!
Her remarkable campaign in 1989 earned her a championship, the first of back-to-back Eclipse Awards for Bayakoa. Hall of Famer McAnally would have his hands full with the mare he would describe as erratic. Her trainer remembered Bayakoa reacting in fear to the flowering trees in the infield at Oaklawn Park. Other times she was startled by the mere sight of the starting gate. But once the latch was sprung, Bayakoa had one thing on her mind.
Bayakoa is eager for the lead.
Her speed was her greatest weapon. That was her style, outrunning her rivals from the start, a tactic that brought her to the winner's circle 21 times in her career.
And Bayakoa is out there moving like a winner with an 1/8 of a mile to go.
The Withams mare was also on a fast track to secure her spot among racing's elite. Just 7 years after her retirement, Bayakoa received the sport's crowning honor, an induction into the Hall of Fame.
The La Cañada Stakes was the featured race at Santa Anita on Sunday.
She's going to sprint for home, and always a princess, full of run out here. Harmonious chasing, Blind Luck is unwinding her way in the centre now, but it's always a princess, had it all her own way, opened up a big lead. Blind Luck can't get her today. Very, very convincing win by Always a Princess, smartly ridden by Martin Garcia. Always a Princess wins it comfortably. Blind Luck second, then Harmonious and Life Well Lived was fourth.
This weekend was a big day for Florida racing, as 5 stakes races took place throughout the state.
Come and get Tackleberry. Tackleberry by 2.5. Kasia Electronica, Soaring Empire on the outside. Tackleberry reaching for the wire, and Tackleberry has done it again. Ms. Venenza has kicked it in. She's second now. Tar Heel Mom is third. It's Hilda's Passion, 3 lengths ahead of Ms. Venenza as they come down to the wire. And Hilda's Passion takes the Hurricane Birdie with ease.
Looks like it'll be one of these two. Silver Reunion, and on the outside, CS Silk. Silver Reunion still there by 3 parts of a length, and Dominguez sweeps preview day. Victory at last is from between horses. Far outside, Holiday's at the farm in deep stretch. Dynamite Holiday strikes to the lead. It's Dynamite Holiday in front and going away to take the Oaks over a fast closing. Holiday's at the farm, and it's close for third in 1:45 and 2 over a good turf course.
I sent well-armed Owen Hardy at Santa Anita and told him to not be afraid to train this horse.
Bill warned me in advance that I was going to get some calls from the farm personnel saying that the horse was messed up and he's not going to make it, and to just ignore all that.
Well Armed did his part.
He returned to the races nearly 5 years to the day the Kasner's lives were rocked by a blast in the night.
Well Arm's running style is he likes to go to the front and catch me if you can.
Down the center of the track, Heat Seeker's coming flying late. Well armed, Heat Seeker. I believe Well Armed might have just held on.
Maximum Horsepower caught up with Owen Hardy on the retirement of Well Armed.
There's just something about this horse where he just never does anything the easy way. It's always, everything he's accomplished has always been a challenge for him. It's just an amazing horse to be around. The obstacles he's had to clear and the challenges he's faced his entire career. And I thought initially that this was just going to be another chapter in the book, but I talked to the Kasners, and then they decided that there was no point in pushing it. He's a horse that everybody in the barn just has a tremendous amount of respect for. And it's like every time you look at the horse, you walk by him, you give him a pat or whatever, you think back, not necessarily on his victories, but just what he's had to overcome along the way.
Here's a look at this week's inside information.
He was so talented and so beautiful, it's just hard to imagine.
When they go to Japan, it's sometimes hard to follow, but you weren't reading his name in the headline every day, so you knew that things weren't going swimmingly for him.
It can't be true. You go through that, it's denial. No, wait, that didn't happen. That couldn't have happened to Ferdinand. Ferdinand should be, in the green pasture somewhere, having his rightful retirement. I don't know what to say.
Kim Boyle called into race day to discuss the Ferdinand Ball.
What is the Ferdinand Ball?
Ferdinand's Ball is a gala fundraiser where we raise awareness and funds the Thursday evening before the Derby this year, which will be May 5th. And it benefits a thoroughbred retirement facility called Old Friends. And the namesake of the event is in honor of Ferdinand, which I know you guys were just discussing. And 100% of the proceeds from the event goes directly to Old Friends to help keep other horses from facing the unfortunate end that Ferdinand did.
Zoe Cadman was full of tough questions this week from grandstand to first call.
Hey, Martine, extra mayo on this? Ham, lettuce, tomato? Geez, the things I do for an interview on live TV. Here you go, mate. How does that look?
They look very good, thank you.
You're welcome. So, Bobby, I'm coming to Vegas in a couple weeks. We all hooked up for a restaurant?
Yes, Mesa Grill and Caesar's Palace. Are you coming? I mean, you have to tell me now. It's a pretty busy restaurant. We'll take care of you.
Yeah, there's about 10 of us.
There's 10 of you. Is Chantel going to be with you?
Oh, yes.
Okay, Chantel owes me phone calls. I haven't talked to her for 6 months, so if you can get her to call me, you guys can have the reservation.
I'm back on horses in a couple months. You going to give me a job?
You're right, absolutely. I have plenty of work to do. I just don't know if you'll like the pay.
Let's see your hand. What happened to your hand in the saddling paddock?
I hit you.
I don't get it. What's this Justin Bieber have that I don't have?
Joe, I think it's the hair. It's got to be the hair, and let's face it, you're getting a bit old. You're 21, he's what, 12?
You're making me sound old now.
Well,
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to grow my hair out.
That's all for this week. Here's a look at what's coming up next week.
Now he's the biggest fish on the lake this year so far, so that's good.
So we appreciate Sean taking out the time from his busy
I got to
schedule.
give an assist to Owen Hardy too. He was skipping the boat that day and everything, so we were trolling. So
Owen with the assist.
Owen got the assist, yeah, because he netted him for me. And we were getting ready to net him, and Owen's going, I don't think the net's big enough. I said, you better make that damn net big enough awful quick.